long suffering, being able to endure some things, not really in the part of knowing how to long suffer, we now can be gentle about some things, because all God wants to do is build upon his spirit and be able to go to next levels in this ministry. Everything that we do is ministry. Ministry is not just standing at the podium or the pulpit. Ministry can be in so many different forms. And we must understand that God gives revelation about some things, and as I was sitting here, we as a people must understand that just like in the natural, children waver and they begin to do things differently from what they were being taught or what they are being taught. They can become products of their environment if we allow them to, in a sense. And just as they are children, we are God's children. So we, in the same, become products of our environment, and we don't even know it in a lot of ways. But God, at this point, he wants to bring us into his office of, as far as the principal's office, in a sense, and give some positive reinforcement. Because a lot of times we have individuals and we have people that what happens is that every way doesn't work for every child. Every situation doesn't work for everybody. So what God does, he gives different things for different people. So he began to talk to me this morning, and he gave me the title, during praise and worship, of positive reinforcement, because gentleness is something powerful and it's very positive that actually helps even the worst individual. What happens is in a classroom or in an environment, you may need a stern person sometime. But when the sternness goes numb and the person is used to, or the student is used to getting beaten or used to getting hollered at, so that doesn't work. He take that and he say, I know this about to happen, so he becomes numb to the fact that it's about to happen, and he's still able to do what he or she wants to do. So then you have to go about it a different way. The next way you go about it, having positive reinforcements. And God said, what I want to tell my people today is, you already know who you are. You already, at this point, and it's so profound that this happened, and who's here today, and we are already in a sense of knowing who we are. We already know what our ministry is. We already know what he's calling us to do. So I remember my first time, I began to, act out in a sense. I was about 6th, 7th grade. And I was called to the office, and first thing the principal said was, you make these type of grades, you come from this type of household, you do this, you do that. What has changed for you to change your way of reacting to things? So it was a gentle reaction. It wasn't a, I'm going to kick you out of school. It wasn't no, I'm going to suspend you. It was a positive reinforcement of her actually saying, I know who you are. God is saying to us today, I know who I made you. You. People come, people go, situations happen, hurt happens, and it tries to detour you from who God has already made you before you even knew that you were going to exist. God already knew who he wanted you to be. He knew what part of his fold or the ministry that you would be, and things happen to try to detour you or try to make you give up or try to make you think that it's getting too rough. But God say, I'm going to do positive reinforcement to call you into my office and just remind you of who you are. I'm going to remind you of where you came from. I'm going to remind you of what you were brought up in, because we so many times, because of situations, not saying that we try to go backward, but what happens is in life that people, and they shouldn't cause you, but people cause you to react to them in certain ways. And God is saying the long-suffering part of last week is now going to help you be more gentle to situations. It's going to have you being more loving. It's going to have you being more caring. And it's going to confuse the people that's actually trying to be used to do you harm. So what happens is in life, when this stuff starts happening to you and you're able to take it a different way, you can take bad news and say, yeah, I know what you said, but I know who God told me I am. I can actually take you saying I'm something else, because I already know that what God told me always is going to trump what you said. This is why I feel how I feel about faith, because faith always tells me that it's the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So I can go, or I can naturally see something, or I can naturally be a part of something, and then God tells me, this is not where I want you to be, or this is not how I want you to see it. We go to different places. They tell us, see, we should get to the point where people tell us something, and then we say, oh, that's just something I need to pray for. I only go so that I know what to pray for. I only let you talk to me about certain things so I can talk to God about that same thing. I don't get upset when people push buttons now, because those buttons are turned off because of the gentleness that I have in my spirit now. Right. So people have to understand that the more and more you get in this, the less and less people get on your skin. See, I'm at a point now where I can actually look at people and say, I know where this is coming from. 6 years ago, 5 years ago, even when I first started praying, it gets a point where I had to learn that this ain't nothing but a spirit. And as you get to that point, you start seeing stuff for what it is, and you don't get mad at the person or the situation. You start calling it out for really what it is. You know the devil. Because people use that now as a playful joke when they say something. Well, you know the devil. But in actuality, when a person is coming at you incorrectly, it's not that person, it's who they have yielded their members to, and they have been a part of a whole plan to get you out of your element. This is what's happening. So, Ephesians 6 and 12, it says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So, long as we're in this world, we have to understand that we got to go through tests and trials. You can't receive your crown without actually going through some stuff. So I'm starting to see this, because I'm starting to see this more and more as this is just a trial for me to make sure I'm on the right track to get my crown. Because the next thing that happens, you go through stuff and pass it, and then you see a little nugget for the next battle. But all this is put together for us to get to one place, that's heaven. Because we want a person wants to graduate, but it's 12 stages that they must go to to be able to get that diploma. So we got a lot of stages that we got to go through. And sometimes we have to go to the principal's office sometimes so God can redirect us and tell us, hey, you have gotten off track. You have let that situation take over you. You're not the same gentle person. You don't have the peace that I gave you. You don't have the Spirit of God that I gave you. You don't have what I need for you to keep going, because what happens is the devil comes to seal it. Yes. He can use any situation. It just takes you to get down, and it takes you to take down about a situation. It ain't always a person. It ain't always a situation. It's one or the other, but whatever the devil brings to you, you have to be spiritually able to see it while it's coming and get ready for it. That's why it's time for us to, in good times, still stay ready. Yes. The same prayer life that we have during bad times. Yes, yes. We have to have it during good times to keep the gentleness that we need to approach people, because we don't even know that it's ministry for folks to come to us and we handle them a certain way and they leave confused. So do you know that then at that aspect want clarity? So guess who they're going to come back to for the same clarity where they try to bring mess. So it takes gentleness for us as a people to see them coming, yes, be sturdy enough to take what they about to throw at us so it can confuse them so they can come back and say, now I know for a fact I gave you all I had to knock you off your rock. But it didn't happen. What is it that's in you that causes you to stay abased? Yes. What is it that causes you not to go back and forth with me when I say something to arouse you? Gentleness. Go to Titus 3, 1 and 2. See, remember I just said they're going to come right back to you. So, understand that once you teach somebody something, once that lesson has came to you and you have taught them, they must get the test later. So, we often understand that we can't teach something that we never learned ourselves. We have a lot of people trying to teach things that they haven't learned themselves. So what happens is in life, once you're able to master a situation and that person comes back and needs your help after the fact that they try to get upset, you become the teacher. You were the student when that person came to you trying to pass the test. Now you are going to become the teacher. Once you become the teacher, if you understand, he was writing this to Titus. Paul was. So Paul had went through some stuff, and now he's trying to teach people, and was trying to teach Titus how to be able to teach others. See, because you can't teach anything unless you have went through it. So he said, see what he told Titus. He said, put them in the mind to be subject to principalities and powers. So, who are you subject to? See, this is the big question. Who are you subject to? It's only two sides. It's no medium. So each day, you're being subject to a higher power or principality. You can either serve God or the devil. Today you make that decision. So what he's saying, look, I'm telling you now, situations gonna come and go. I'm telling you now, some things are gonna come up on you. It's nowhere around it. You have to go through things because your Heavenly Father went through things. I went through things. This is a part of this life because we want you to be strong enough to be able to help others, because at the end of the day, it's all about ministry. So he said, put them in the mind to be subject to principalities and power, to obey magistrates, to be ready to every good work. Every good work does not come in a good situation. I want us to understand that every good work ain't going to start off with the sunshine. I like folks that can make a good situation out of a bad one. Because that's what my Heavenly Father did when He first came here and died and rose for us. He made a situation that we thought naturally was bad, a good one. They were crying and they looked for Him and He was already risen. So they were still crying about Him dying, when He had already told them, hey, He gonna rise again. Yes. So if he already knew His end from His beginning, then He makes you. So He'll sit here and tell you, what are you tripping about when I've already made you? I've already made your situation good, even though it's bad now, or even though it may not be the best now. I've already made good. Fret not. So I want us to understand, we can stay in a humble and gentle place when we already know the outcome. See, I'm looking at my situation and I'm saying, I know the outcome even though I do not know the outcome. Because I have faith enough to know I didn't even make me anyway. I didn't put me in this place anyway. It's something that He wanted me to do. And He wanted me to overcome, so He allowed some things to happen so I can give Him the glory, and somebody can see that if I can make it out, yes, they can make it out. Yes. So He says, put them in the mindset of principalities. Don't look at that person. Don't look at the situation. Put them in the mindset of, it's just all part of the plan. Somebody got to be used. So, which person gonna use you today? Now, I'm setting you up to be used by me, but I also gave you free will. Yeah. So what happens is, you can let the other person that chose to be used by Satan to get to you, so you can get the glory, and then you can give it to me. Or you can take down and be used by Satan too. Because I will always get, he said, I'm always gonna get the last say so. So if I just yield to Him, He'll in return be able to turn that person around that was maybe yield to Satan at that point. So He said, put them in mind to be subject to principalities, obey the magistrates, and to be ready to every good work. Make sure you understand that every good work don't start off good. Then get what He said. To speak evil of no man. It's getting to the point where now it's easy to point out when folks doing evil. It's easy. You see them folk. Let's go back to the principal. Now understand, at the school, a good principal is able to, look past that bad behind child. A good principal is able to see past situations and ask what happened or what's been happening to make that person act the way they do. Because some of us are, now don't understand, some children just come to school in bad situations. So the situations don't do nothing but make domino effects. So they bring in that bad situation at school because they never seen a good one. But He's giving you every good work. So even though that person comes with that bad vibe, it's up to you, because good always outweigh bad to make the situation better. And then we don't take the time to do that in life. We don't know how to. We haven't gotten strong enough to make every bad situation good. Because what happens is, we know how to take folks off worse than what they were when they got there. Us, as in us, people that supposed to have this inside of us. This man that changed our soul. man that made us put out the old man and put on a new man. Where if God always able to see good in somebody and try to bring it out, why don't we? So he say, to speak no evil of no man. So learning how to use that tongue for what it's used for. If you speak good, good or happen, because it's life and death in the power of the tongue. So if I speak good over my situation, no matter how bad it looks, eventually it gotta be good. If I continue to, you're gonna get tired of me talking to you about how good. Man, let a principal keep telling you, no matter what you're doing right now, no matter what you're in here for, God is telling somebody, no matter what you came in here for, it don't matter that I'm upset with you right now, but I know it's something that I've departed into you, that if you can just start listening enough, I can get it out of you if you allow me to. The principal be telling them, if I can just get you to do this, you won't be in.
Come on.
You won't even be in here.
Yeah.
If you would have listened to the instructions, it's some instructions that he's given us from the beginning. For some reason, we read them and then we think we can do what we want to do. So the same time that child got to come right here and he gets suspended, you know, a lot of us get suspended. A lot of us get suspended. We get suspended when we don't feel the way we used to. In the spiritual realm, we get suspended when we can clap our hands till they red, but don't be able to feel them like we used to. You have been suspended because a lot of times we kept sending you in here. I kept sending you in here. I kept talking to you. I kept trying to get something out of you. I kept trying to tell you to let this go. I kept trying to tell you to let that go. But you continually wanted to do what you want to do. But then when I suspend you, now you understand what I'm talking about. See, sometimes being suspended is a positive reinforcement. It gets your mind right. I don't wanna have that feeling anymore. I don't wanna be. See, next time that person won't make me as mad. I keep my gentle spirit because I don't want to not feel his. See, I've been listening to him for him to talk to me, but he didn't talk to me in about 3 days. Yes, he was. He was talking to you. He was talking to you because he wasn't talking to you, and you knew why you wasn't learning the way you used to learn. You was wondering why you're not getting the knowledge that you was getting. You was reading the Bible, but nothing was jumping out the page like it used to. Because I had to suspend you for a while because you wasn't gentle enough. When that person tried you, it was just principalities. It was just spiritual wickedness in high places. But you wanted to do what you wanted to do. So now I gotta suspend.
Come on.
I gotta suspend you. He said, I allow some things to happen so you can get that gentleness back. So you be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to rap. So I had to suspend you for a minute. Because see, if the person ain't around you enough, then if I can talk to you while that person ain't around, I can let you know the next time they come to you because you got to get that back. In certain situations, they allow a person after suspended to be able to take the test over sometimes. And if they don't, in Jesus Christ, you're going to always get that test back. So why would he say so? To speak evil of no man, to be no brawlers. But I'm telling you, these times, but we the most fighting Christian I've seen. We be ready. Like I'm saying we, because I sometimes you look like help me, Jesus. Putting out in front of me in the highway. Nigga tell me, don't you point your finger at nobody else. Just get all, especially when you know you go with a lit man. Why you gotta stick your card out? Like, why you just ask me? To be no, see, little letters, man. Little letters. Because what if you pointed that person would have actually stopped? you got to go farther because you done, see now, because see you already went too far. So now the devil gonna talk to you then and say, well, you ain't gonna let them just harm, you know your children in the car. See, all that started happening when you do something when you could have just let that slide and been gentle in the first place. See, to be no problems, but gentle, showing all meekness unto all men. They say all men, no matter what they have done to you, no matter what they may do to you, we treat folk like they want to be treated, and we treat it like we want to be treated, and we treat folks how we'll treat God. So if you point at God, if he cut you off, you just keep pointing.
Yeah.
Go to 2 Timothy. Second Timothy 2, 24 through 26. We're going to learn here that you are able to teach folks through action. Because a lot of times, in this day and time, you can't teach folk through just what you say. People are actually looking at your lifestyle and saying, don't talk to me about nothing if you're not living it. That's why here we must learn this and really apply it, because in these days and times, we are not going to reach folk by just talking. This is a life that needs to be lived. And it's been like that. I don't know why we thought it changed, but it's been like that because Jesus showed folk how to live this life. He didn't just talk about it. Before he really was talking, he lived it. And the servant, 2 Timothy chapter 2, 24 and 26 through 26. And the servant of the Lord must not strive. Let me tell you what that word strive means in this one. It means struggle or fight. And this strive right here means not to struggle or fight. Because you wonder why we in life, when we know we right, let me tell you something. If somebody know they right, we can't just let the folk come back to us and tell us we was right. And if we do allow them to do that, when we know they coming, this is what we're already doing. What you need? Like we're already setting up to give them a hard time about something, and they coming to tell us to humble themselves and say you were right. But we as this, and I want to teach this because us as saints of God have to be different. If we're not different, then we're doing this for nothing. He say, and the servant of the Lord must not strive, meaning struggle or fight, but be what? Gentle unto all men, apt to teach, and what? Patient. You have to be, man, if I didn't learn nothing else this basketball season, I learned patience. I'm talking about some patience, because you need it. With children, you need patience. But grown behind children, I'm talking about 30 and 40-year-old, 50-year-old children. You need patience for them. Because you feel like they should already know some stuff. You've been living this long and you still patient. I learned this when I was, everybody's pace of learning ain't the same. If they've been in this environment the whole time, they've been in a bad environment the whole time, and this environment they're in never taught them that they had to be this way, don't expect them to understand until they meet you. Then they have to meet you and have to see this ain't life, but it's up to this is what I want people to understand. After you have been taught that life is different, it's up to you to accept it. Because a lot of us going backwards because we don't want to accept life for what it is. Jesus has taught us how to accept and be successful, but we still want to do it our own way and get his success. In meekness, instructing those that oppose themselves. Do you know that people that don't really want to know what's true, they're opposing themselves? We have people in school all this time that don't understand their potential naturally, and they don't do nothing but oppose themselves. You ain't doing nothing but holding yourself back spiritually. When you don't want nobody to tell you nothing, only thing you're doing is holding yourself back. This is what I'm starting to learn. Starting to learn that the best way to be the teacher is be a person that want to learn. Because all of us has to understand that you're going to continue to learn in this life.
Yes.
If you think you got it all together, I hate to tell you, but you're in the wrong place if you're in here trying to learn. That's all we're trying to do, trying to get better. He's saying meekness, instructing those that oppose themselves. If God, peradventure, meaning perhaps, will give them repentance. So, a person, a student that's in school, after the principal has talked to them, he gives that person she gives that person a second chance after she sees the student saying, you know what, I apologize. God said, I'm out here trying to give second chances. I'm out here trying to help people get to that next level. If you repent to me and say, I got it wrong, then I give you a second chance to make up for that and move forward. If God perhaps will give them repentance to the acknowledging of what? The truth. A lot of times we don't accept truth for what it is. We have to start accepting the truth because the truth is what? It makes us free. Making means molding you into a truthful person. Meaning that don't go with what we're molding here. So we're going to push that to the side and add that element and put this inside and build you into the person that God wants to build you. Meaning the potter's wheel.
Yes.
So when we sit here and it's something inside of us that don't supposed to be there, and he keep trying to grab it. You ever try to take a bolt out? And it almost seems like it want to strip because it ain't never been loosened before. So you got these folks who ain't never tried to loose this element that they have, and it needs to be loosened. So yes, it's hurting you a little bit to get that out of you because you ain't never tried to. So it's been now 65 years, it's been now 33 years, however old you, it's been now, and God trying to get it off you, and it's hard. Now you got to go get the WD-40, whatever, that bless off for you.
Yes.
Because you need to be loosened.
Yes.
Because that situation has been there, and it needs to be moved. But because nobody has seen, a lot of folks have looked past that and kept that there. They've been fixing everything else around you. Why? But somebody ought to be gentle enough to be able to tag and touch that situation.
Come on.
See, that's why we have to, as saints, be very gentle because a good doctor can put something in you or take something out of you and talk to you while they're doing it and you never know it's been taken out. Or you got them nurses that come in there and just grab your arm and snatch you on it, then you never want to see them again. Spiritually, you got folks that never want to, never want to see you again because instead of you being gentle enough to help them get that out of them, you wanted to snatch it out, and when you grabbed it, it didn't come out, and I just don't, not again. So every time you want to come around them, they got a bad attitude because you started it. Acknowledging truth, acknowledging what needs to be fixed so we can be made into the truth. Verse 26 says, and that they may recover themselves. Remember I just told you that we will start off doing exactly what we're supposed to do and be hindered some kind of way. Situations happen. Like, understand that, I just really want people to understand that this happens. It has happened to the best of us. This is what I really want to teach people that's in the world right now that really think that they done did too much to come here. Or for a backslider, because I've been one before, that thinking that they can't come back when God told me he was married to me.
Yes. All right.
So it takes somebody, you know how it takes you to go through stuff to be generous sometimes. It takes me as a backslider to understand how a backslider feels. Do I wish I would have backslided? No. But now he turned what the devil meant for harm.
Yes.
And he made that good because he said, now I can let him go talk to a backslider, and they can say, well, I remember when you were saved one time and you backslid. I can tell them what happened and put that gentleness and put my arm around and say, this is how you get back. If he can let me come back.
Yes.
This is what we need today as saints.
All right.
He said, and that they may recover themselves. I want you to understand that it takes you and God to recover you. The problem is in life that we have so many folk trying to look for somebody else to recover them. We're putting all our trust in man and that person as in mankind and saying, I need you to recover me. When he's saying here, you can recover yourself.
Yes. Come on. Yes.
Hear what he say? And that they may recover themselves out of the snare of the devil. Hold on. I have enough strength myself if I tap inside of it.
Yes.
You only need, I'm telling y'all right now, y'all only need me to tell y'all, to give y'all a boost to let y'all know what y'all already have.
Yes.
I always, see, this is what I want people to understand. I just want people to be here saying, you know what, I knew I had it. Thank you for telling me that,
Right.
so I can rededicate myself to the ministry. I just want some folk that say, Pastor, what you said today helped me get back in a herd.
Yes.
That's it. I can take it from here. I'll be back next Sunday, but just know I'm gonna be more ready next Sunday than I was this Sunday because of what you told me to.
Yes.
I'll be able to lift. I know you was out of the 10 reps that we had to do. I know I saw that you spotted me 5 or 6 on, but this time I'm gonna need you for number 2 or 3.
Yes.
Then I get so strong enough where I just want you to be there. Don't put your hand on the bar. I just want you to be there to make sure it don't follow me. But just understand, don't worry about it. I got it.
Yes. Come on.
That's how strong I want us to be. See, I don't want us to depend on Chris. I want Chris to be a vessel to tell you what you need so you can depend on God because at the end of the day, that's who Chris depended on.
Yes. Thank you, Lord Jesus.
But you need gentle folks being able to stretch their hand out and say, I'm just putting my hand out because God told me to, but I'm finna get you to God. Because without God, I wouldn't be able to even stick my hands out to get yours.
Yes.
And they that may recover themselves out of the snare of the devil, who are taken captive by him as his will. Because he always will that you be in the same spot he in because he a hater. He can't get to where you going. He has already been banned from that great place. So therefore, he wants some company. So he figures you out enough to know what he can do to make you fall back. Go to the lab. We're going to go to the lab or James 3:17. But see, as y'all going there, I want y'all to understand that because we know this now, that all we got to do is stay grounded and stay gentle. It takes gentleness for us to beat the devil. Because he the one comes as a roaring lion. As a roaring lion. That's how he comes. So, understanding to how to beat folk. If you have to understand, to beat folk, you have to know what their weakness is. And it's only one thing that you can say for the devil's weakness. Because honestly, you can't be mean because he mean. Because you ain't doing nothing but strengthening him. Because he ready to go back and forth. He ready for you to step to his level. You have to go above him.
Yes.
Don't ever get on his level and don't never go above, because you can never go below him. Because he going to always go below you. He going to always find somebody who's dirtier than you can be. See, that's what people don't understand. You can continue to do something worse than what they did. He'll find somebody. I know you did them dirty, but he'll find somebody that can do you dirtier than what you did them. But he can never go above you if you with God. Because he always under God, and he trying to keep you under, and he trying to help you keep him under your feet. So as long as I'm on here with God, the devil always is below me. But as soon as you stoop to his level, watch what James say. James 3:17 say, but the wisdom. See, let me tell you how good it get when you start understanding who you are and who the devil is. When he comes, you don't even get upset. We gotta get to the part where we just sit down. Cause we already prayed. See, the problem is we already prayed up. So you coming at me, I knew you were coming because if I'm in tune with God, he know my end from my beginning. He had already told me. He had already equipped me. He done sent Sister so-and-so to me. He done told me. Something has happened to let me know that the devil coming. So when he get down, I'm just at peace with the situation because I know if he brought me to it, he'll bring me through.
Yes.
But the wisdom that is from above is first what? Pure. Being peaceable, being gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruit without partiality. You know the most important thing we got to get out of us? Partiality. Because certain people say we give them a pass. But other folks who say that same thing, they get beat up. Partiality. Once we can get the partiality out of it, then we can get this last part, because we do this. Us as saints got to stop being this without hypocrisy. We're the most hypocritical people. As the saints, we're the most hypocritical people because a lot of ways we forget where we came from. That's first of all. Second of all, we don't understand that we can be there. So we sometimes pass judgment and we haven't even went through that before and then say, so without hypocrisy, being able to say, I'm just gonna pray for the situation. Whatever God is telling me, I say it and I keep moving because I don't know exactly. I just know enough to pray for it.
Yes.
You know, a lot of times that's why I'd rather not know. Listen, what I tell you. I'd rather not know situations. So when you tell me to pray, I can just pray and say, God, you already know what they need before they ask. I'm just here standing in the gap for them because they asked me to pray. I don't really want to know. I just want to pray. I just want to keep this open line of communication. So with me, being in a place and somebody feel good enough to say, pray for me, I feel like I'm doing the best thing I can do for a situation anyway. Because I can say something, or I can give an encouraging word, but the best thing I can do, or the best thing we can do for anybody, is pray for them. Not worrying about the situation. And even when people come to you and talk, learn how to start listening and don't say nothing.
Yes.
If they ask you for your advice, you give it to them through scripture. Because a lot of times, once you start giving them how you feel, the gentleness leaves. Because when they don't take it, it ain't no but a back and forth situation. So now what you do is, just listen. What you think I should do? Maybe ask God. Because a lot of times what's happening is we'll get to a point that we want to be needed so much that we just start flying out there. And that ain't what God told you to say. So now the person ain't taking that, now y'all at odds. Now the gentleness is gone out the door. All because you shouldn't have did the first part. You should have been slow to speak.
That's right.
Quick to hear. And that's why the route don't come, because you're finally able to be gentle about how you treat other folks and how you come at other people. Y'all by y'all here. Father, we just thank you one more time. I ask you, Father, that this teaching, Father, that we hide this word in our heart and not sin against it. I ask you, Father, that we continue, Father, to let you be a lamp to our feet and light to our path. I ask you, Father, that we don't be so quick to respond. We don't be so quick to react to certain situations, Father, because we know that through you, you can fix any situation. But we can't let you fix it, Father, if we're too busy trying to fix it ourselves. Let us lean and depend on you, Father, because we know that you are the burden bearer. You can fix every problem that we have if we allow you to, Father. Let us understand who you are and who you can be in our life if we let you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.